Queen of Tears. Bae Hyun-woo works as the legal director for conglomerate Queen's Group. He is the most successful person to have come from his hometown village of Yeongdeori, and he is the pride of that village. Bae Hyun-woo is married to Hong Hae-in, who is the daughter of the family that owns and operates Queen's Group. She is known as the arrogant queen at Queen's department store. Queen of Tears will tell the miraculous, thrilling, and humorous love story of this married couple, who manages to survive a crisis and stay together against all odds. Pyramid Game. Sung Soo-ji is transferred to Baekhyun Girls High School in Seoul. She begins classes there in grade 2 class 5. On her first day at her new school, she notices her class being generally peaceful, but also a bit weird. She has to participate in a strange vote called the Pyramid Game, where the students in grade 2 class 5 participate. The game is held once a month and it is like a popularity vote, but the student who gets the lowest number of votes gets an F and becomes the target of school violence. Sung Soo-ji gets 0 number of votes and becomes the next target. She is bullied by her classmates and nobody seems to care about that in her class. Sung Soo-ji tries to get out of her predicament and also tries end the pyramid game at her school. Lovely Runner. Ryu Sanjae is a top star who has been in the spotlight since his debut. His life seems perfect, but being in the entertainment industry has completely worn him out. Meanwhile, Lim Sol loves Ryu Sanjae as an adoring fan. When she was little, she had an accident. Due to that, she gave up on her dream, but listening to Ryu Sanjae's song on the radio gave her comfort and she became his fan since then. One day, Lim Sol hears breaking news that Ryu Sanjae has ended his own life. She feels deep sadness over the tragic news. Miraculously, Lim Sol somehow travels back in time to 15 years in the past. There, she faces Ryu Sanjae, who is a 19-year-old high school student. She struggles to prevent his tragic future. Chief Detective 1958. Park Yong-han is a young detective from Wangcheon. He becomes furious at the reality of human dignity being violated and he struggles to deal with it. He teams up with his colleague detectives at the Jongnam police station in Seoul. Marry My Husband. Kang Ji-won is married to Park Min-hwan. Her marriage life is not going well due to her selfish husband and his demanding mother. Kang Ji-won is the breadwinner of the family, while her husband Park Min-hwan is unemployed and in debt. Kang Ji-won also does all of the housework herself. One day, Kang Ji-won learns she has cancer and she doesn't have much time left to live. Making things worse, she witnesses her husband and her close friend Jong Soo-min having an affair. She gets into a physical struggle with the two of them and she is killed by her husband Park Min-hwan. The next moment, Kang Ji-won opens her eyes and finds herself in the past, 10 years earlier when she was dating Park Min-hwan. She decides to change her life by making Jong Soo-min marry Park Min-hwan. Meanwhile, Yoo Ji-hyuk works as a chief in the same department as Kang Ji-won. He has a crush on her and he slowly reveals his feelings to her. He also has a secret. Flexikiscope. Jin Lee-soo is a third-generation member of a chaebol family. He has a childish personality and loves to have fun. Jin Lee-soo becomes a detective for a police violent crimes team. He tries to wipe out criminals by using his enormous wealth, personal connections, and his brilliant intelligence. He works with Lee Gang-hyun, who leads the violent crimes team. She is a veteran detective and highly dedicated to catching criminals. She also has smooth social skills. Although Lee Gang-hyun views Jin Lee-soo as a thorn in her side, they begin to work together as partners. She experiences a big change in her deceptive life. Wonderful World. Eun Soo-hyun is a psychology professor and a famous writer, but her life has completely changed. Her young son dies unjustly. Making things worse, the person responsible for her son's death isn't punished by the law. Eun Soo-hyun loses hope in this world. She decides to punish the person responsible for her son's death by herself. Her life is still in pain and despair. Somehow, Eun Soo-hyun gets involved with other people who suffer from similar pain as her and solves their mysterious cases. They slowly get healed in the process. A Shop for Killers. Shortly after entering college, Ji-yeon receives a call from local police informing her of her uncle's suicide. Her caretaker, since the death of her parents, Uncle Jong Jin-man, had always been quiet and mysterious but never suicidal. But before Ji-yeon has a chance to think, her life is turned upside down by a flurry of gunfire, murder drones, and more, as a medley of highly skilled assassins inexplicably turns their focus to killing her. Pinned down in her uncle's home, Ji-yeon will be forced to revisit some of the bizarre training her uncle gave her throughout her formative years if she hopes to survive long enough to discover what is going on. Dr. Slump. During his school days, Yu Jongwoo always placed first in academics and he studied at the top medical school in the country. Jongwoo is now a popular plastic surgeon. His life goes smoothly, but, due to a mysterious medical accident, his life is pushed to the edge. At this time, he meets Nam Hanul. She was a rival in his past and he meets her at the lowest point in his life. Hanul works as an anesthesiologist. When she was growing up, people called her a genius due to her extreme intelligence. She studied hard and became a doctor. Her life consists of only work and studying. She doesn't have any time to experience fun. One day, Hanul realizes she isn't happy with her life and she wants to make a change. At this time, she meets Jongwoo during one of the worst moments in her life. They comfort each other and a romantic relationship blossoms between them. The Midnight Studio. So Ki-ju is a photographer and runs a small photo studio. He is the 7th owner of the photo studio, and the shop is only for ghosts. Ki-ju takes portraits of the ghosts that come into the store. Han Bom is a lawyer who is passionate about her work and does not tolerate injustice. Somehow, she ends up in a partnership with Ki-ju's photo studio. The studio also has 2 employees, Assistant Manager Go and Baek Nam-gu. Assistant Manager Go is in charge of bringing in ghosts as customers, and Nam-gu is in charge of taking care of small chores around the store. A Killer Paradox. Lee Tang is an ordinary university student. While he works his part-time job at a convenience store, he gets into a fight with a rude drunk man and accidentally kills him. He is terrified that he killed a person and his life could be ruined. It turns out the dead man is a serial killer and he has been wanted for the past 4 years. Lee Tang realizes that he has a special ability to recognize bad people who deserve to die. Lee Tang soon becomes a serial murderer to kill these evil people. Detective Jang Nangam investigates a murder case committed by Lee Tang. His instincts as a detective lead him to suspect Lee Tang as the killer. Meanwhile, Song Chan is an ex-detective who chases after Lee Tang alone.